Defining self-love to me is, first of all, knowing who you are in Christ. Love meant, because I never had self-love. I never had anybody to teach me about self-love. Yeah, get up like on a Saturday morning, get dressed, go to brunch. And by me being 65, I'm not a cougar. A man knows exactly what he wants when he sees her.
Period.
And what ladies don't do like I do. Have this whole list of checklist, and you go down the checklist, and after a while, you're going to find yourself at home sipping on a glass of wine all by yourself, all the time.
Let Your Head Down by Coco.
Hello Queen, salut Marine, this is your girl Coco, your favorite brother and your new best friend. If you're new here, welcome. If you're already the queendom, welcome back to Let Your Head Down by Coco. A place to heal, a place to grow, a place to laugh, a place to discover who you are in God. A place to discover who you are in God, Queen. So today, I have a special queen. I don't know her. This is the first time for her to come over here. And this is the first time, she's the first time client. So I'm really excited to get to know her. And we're going to have a discussion. Yes. We're going to talk about self-love and dating.
Yes!
It's really important to get to know yourself first. It's really important to love yourself. The Bible says, and this is actually the verse of the day, Matthew 22:39. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Everything starts with you first, Queen. You need to love yourself. You need to embrace every version of yourself. How are you going to love someone if you don't love yourself? How are you going to take care of someone if you don't take care of yourself? Everything starts with you first, Queen. So today we're going to talk about self-love and dating. I'm really excited to talk about this topic, actually. So I don't know how it's going to go, but we shall see. So let's dive into it. So today, we have our queen over here. Like, yeah, she's 65. Look how good she is. Okay, I see you. Yeah, she looks so good, man.
65, yeah.
Okay, period. So the first question is, how do you define self-love and why it is important in dating?
Defining self-love to me is, first of all, knowing who you are in Christ. Knowing that God is the head of your life. Knowing that in all things, to always seek God, because history shows that the African-American woman has taken care of everybody else except herself. And we spend a lot of time taking care of others and finding out their needs, but we never take the time to know who we are and allowing God to mold us and make us into what He wants us to be. And that comes by having a prayer life and a relationship, and then allowing Him to prepare you. And a lot of times you can be resistant. I know I was very resistant because I didn't understand the process. I didn't understand at first, how or what self-love meant, because I never had self-love. I never had anybody to teach me about self-love. And then sometimes people think we're being selfish. Don't ever let anybody tell you you're selfish, because there's a difference in being selfish and self-love. Yeah, big difference. Self-love comes from the inside. And it exuberates out. So it's not just the outward appearance, but when you get to that point where you find that self-love inside, and God reveals to you that you're my daughter, you're my child, and you start really putting things before Him and allowing Him to mold you, lead you, and guide you. You'll start seeing more and more things about yourself that you like. Don't be afraid to even do things by yourself. Take yourself to dinner. Treat yourself. Go
This is
shopping.
actually, this is something that I did, and I really like the first time. It was really awkward
Mm-hmm.
when I went there the first time, and you know what? I was like, let me just take myself on dinner. But I was like, it was so awkward. I was like, Lord, what I'm doing here. But like the more I get used to it, like it's cool. Like, because when you go out by yourself, people gonna come and approach you. People gonna come and talk to you. You know, and like I feel like women, we don't really want to do that because like this is so embarrassing. People gonna just like, oh, what is God doing here by herself? But like I feel like this is something that as women we need to do. That we need to take ourselves out, like for dinner, everything. We don't have to wait for men to take us out to to dinner, or to go like to shopping, or like go to the restaurant, or go to I feel like as a woman we need to do that.
Yeah, get up like on a Saturday morning, get dressed, go to brunch. And if you're gonna go, like, especially if you're looking to date, go to a sports bar. Go, especially now, basketball season and the playoffs.
Okay, queen.
Y'all better hang out sit at the bar. Always sit at the bar.
Like this is something that I noticed. Every time when I sit on the bar, like there's always like a man.
Yes.
Always.
And sit at the bar. And by me being 65, I'm not a cougar by any means. But let me tell y'all something. The older men, they're kind of, I don't know, women who have really invested in themselves, and we're finding, okay, let me do this self-love thing. Walk into that room with confidence and turn heads, because when I walk in there, I'm going to be looking good. I'm going to be smelling good. I'm going to be confident. I turn heads.
Period.
Period. But the thing about it is that so many guys say they're afraid to approach a confident woman. But then
why do you think like this is crazy actually?
Because I feel that they haven't healed. And men are hurt too. Believe it or not. Men do get hurt. Women, we do hurt men. So let's own that.
That's true.
But when they're confident, and the dating is fine, but you're not going to be dating me for no 9-10 months. A man knows exactly what he wants when he sees her.
Period.
Point blank. So if you're dating with a purpose, date a man with the purpose. Date a man with a vision. Because you have a vision. You have a purpose. And your purpose is you're self-loving yourself. Your purpose is you're dating to be married. And that right one is going to come along. Now, it's not going to happen when we think it's going to happen. It never does. And when you least expect it. And ladies, don't do like I do. Have this whole list of checklist, and you go down the checklist, and after a while, you're going to find yourself at home sipping on a glass of wine all by yourself all the time. And I'm like this. If you can't put a ring on it, or you're not talking about the future and your goals and aspirations and what you want to see, then, you're not the one. Yeah.
Okay.
But you got to love yourself first. And that'll show. When you love yourself, that energy gives off. You give off that energy.
Yes. Yeah. That's true.
And people feed on that energy. And believe it or not, they pick up on it. When you grow closer to God and you get that confidence and them vibes, can nothing stop you.
That's true. So yeah, by the way, we're doing like small, medium, knotless braid, but like her hair is really short in the back. So I'm doing like boss braid in the back with one bundle of color 30 and 27. So the next question. How do you set healthy boundaries in dating while still staying open to love?
Wow. Setting healthy boundaries is very difficult.
Oh, yes, it is.
It comes with discipline. And the reason why I say that is because I am the kind of person, I can get all up in my head. Example, he's not answering his phone. Well, he's not answering his phone because he must be with somebody else. There must be another woman.
Maybe that's your trauma. Your trauma is starting.
Yes. So And and then as soon as he calls you, the first thing you do is have an attitude because you've been all up in your head about why he's not answering his phone. And then you feel so bad when you find out why he really wasn't answering his phone. Then after you talk to him, you go right back to, is he telling me the truth? Okay. If what I do, I ask God for discernment.
Yes.
Because I need to stay out my head, because I'm going to tell y'all, I can create some real stories. If I could write some books about some of the things I imagine in my head, and we all do it. Stay out of your imaginary mind. Set your healthy boundaries. For example, when you meet someone and they want to date, you tell them what you expect of them, and they tell you what they expect or they're looking for in a relationship. And that's those boundaries, and stick to those boundaries. And if you see them slipping, just kindly and gently think of a way to remind them. But let me explain something to you. A man gravitates more toward a woman that protects his peace emotionally. Men are emotional creatures, but they hide it very well. They're not going to let you know. But a man would rather have and be in a relationship with somebody where there's some peace. And if it's the right relationship for you, you're not going to have to second guess it. You're not going to have to ask him what kind of relationship you're in. It's going to come with peace. And, the word tells us that God gives us a peace that surpasses all understanding. You will have that peace. But I will say this too. Above all things, guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. The issues of your life start in your heart. And then, like I said, you get all in your head. Stay out of it. Pray about it. Seek God in all things. Now, don't be foolish. But everybody deserves a chance, because we're so caught up in our past and past things that we've experienced. And some things are just not worth over. You just can't overlook them. Some things are just going to be obvious. For example, who says that they want to be in a relationship? They don't text you all day. You don't hear from them all day. No communication. Communication is the key. You ask any couples that have been married for a length of time, and they will tell you open, clear communication is the key. Make sure you set that as one of your boundaries, communication. But as an African-American woman, what I found is that a lot of African-American men don't know how to openly communicate, and neither do we as women sometimes, because of past trauma. That's where the healing comes in. But don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to say what it is that you want. And if it's not meeting your boundaries, don't be afraid to express it. Because one thing about it, if their person is not going to be in your life, that means God is protecting you. And He's going to remove them.
This is so true.
Does it hurt? If you're in the, and self-love is not jumping in the bed with every man. Most of the time, a man look at a woman when he sees her first of all sexually. Don't give him that. Please. If you got to go to the bathroom, hold your legs up. Like my aunt used to say, put a dime between your knees and hold it there. That's what they used to tell us when we were teenagers. Put a dime and hold it between your knees. Don't let it fall. Don't let it fall. And then as men get older, one of the things my grandmother used to tell us, too, she'd say, baby, just remember this. The older you get, that pole going to wear out before the hole. Now, if y'all get what I'm saying, the pole wears out before the hole. So Viagra and all this other stuff have just totally ruined our men. But did you all know that Houston, Texas is ranked, I think, number 5 in venereal disease?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's not the young people with it. It's the 45 to 70-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
Y'all need to stop it. They're even in the nursing homes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Stop opening your legs, ladies. That is not love. A man is going to respect you more and value you more when you don't open your legs to him.
Preach. Woo!
It's hard because we spend so long, we want to be held or whatever. Let him hold you. When you feel you get a little too close, learn how to just back up. It's hard, but it can be done.
Yes. So how do you deal with rejection while maintaining self-love? Because me personally, I thought like rejection was like my identity, because I grew up without my dad. My dad rejected me when I was like 3 months old. And I didn't even know that I had daddy issue until like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really like something, it was like this shaped me to be the woman that I wasn't supposed to be, you know, the woman that God didn't call me to be. And I'm just thankful, like, man, God, Jesus.
Rejection, like you say, can go either way. It can be good or bad, but in most cases, it is bad. And as young women, even as you grow older, if you've been rejected, we look for that person to show us that love that's not going to reject us. So we're looking for somebody that's not going to reject us. So then we get accustomed to being rejected. So we get used to it, and that's why we go to this guy, that guy, the next guy, is because of rejection. But how do you deal with it with self-healing is your boundaries. When you set your boundaries and you stay open and you stay true to what it is that you want and what you want for yourself, you are less likely to have those rejections. And rejection sometimes can be to protect you. But nobody likes rejection. I know for me, I hate rejection because I felt like I was rejected my whole life, you know.
Wow. Can you talk about it?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, if you don't mind.
Being African American, and the family that I was raised in, they used to call me the ugly duckling.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was.
You're so beautiful.
Sandy red hair. I didn't look like the rest of the kids.
Oh, wow.
And then when I got in high school, my senior year in high school, I got pregnant. My mom rejected me.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much tore down my self-esteem. In our families, I was born in 59, so growing up in African-American families back then, sex was taboo. It was not talked about in our homes. My dad worked all the time, so he was never emotionally or physically around. My mom was angry all the time. So we didn't get any love and support from her. And then everything we did was pretty much rejected.
Oh, wow.
You know,
we're so used to, like, you know, men reject us like that. Oh, my daddy issue, but we don't, like, people going through like some mommy issue too, some mother issue, some mother rejection. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So
actually.
you can experience it from both sides.
Yeah.
And then because you wonder why young girls and young guys are in gangs, because they're accepted. They're not getting the rejection they're getting at home. People don't like rejection. It doesn't feel good. It's not healthy. But when you're healing, you avoid those rejection situations by sticking to your value, what you value, what your truths are, and what you want for yourself. No matter what. It's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. But with prayer, meditation, you got to just get in your prayer closet sometime. That's all I know to tell you. You just got to take it to the Lord and leave it there. Because I've had those sleepless nights. I've had those nights where weeping endured for the night, but joy came in the morning. Woo! Now, your morning might not be in the morning, but the morning might be a year or two on down the road, but your morning's going to come.
For real.
And you're going to wake up one day and say, wow, who is this new girl?
Woo!
Yeah, I'm coming out.
Okay.
This is me. This is who God created me. And that's basically where I was at. And with me not, being torn down like I was and got pregnant, they said I wasn't going to be anything. I wasn't going to do nothing. I was going to be a tramp with a house full of kids.
Oh, wow.
I was the first one in my family to graduate college.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I have a bachelor's and a master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I retired from the military.
Mm-hmm.
I was I still own a home. It's a lot of things that I accomplished that my mom said I wasn't. If I had listened to her, I would have never stuck to my dreams and what I wanted to see myself do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to believe in yourself.
Mm.
Stop procrastinating on your dreams. Stop believing what people say about you. Believe what you know that you want to do and how you want to achieve what makes you you. And love you for all your flaws and imperfections.
Yes, you need to embrace every version of yourself. Yeah.
Because there's nobody perfect. And don't judge yourself, based on other women or other people, because they have flaws. They have imperfections. You just don't see them, and they're not going to tell you what they are. I've had some issues. I've fallen because I didn't see what God saw in me. I didn't see the destiny He had ordained for me. I didn't see the vision that He saw in me. And I got caught up. And I got caught up pretty bad in some things that I'm not very proud of. And if I had to do it again, but I can't. I can only move forward. But I will say that I grew through it. I learned from it. And, looking back on my life, even though the wrong things I did and stuff, and, like I was telling you, that I was in a coma for 28 days.
Can you talk about it a little bit?
I can. In 2016, I had one of the first cases of COVID in the United States. They didn't know what it was. They call it SARS.
Oh, wow.
And I went to the emergency room that night. My daughter's a nurse, and she was upstairs working. And she knows that I'm not one to go to the hospital and stuff very much. At that time, I was working out every day pretty much, running 2 or 3 miles a day. I get to the hospital. This was New Year's Eve, going into New Year's. The doctor wanted to send me home with some Tylenol. Oh, wow. I refused to go home because God kept saying, no. So my daughter said, Mom, you don't have to go home. So I stayed there. They couldn't find out what was wrong, and she called in the main hospital. They had to call Washington, D.C. and Houston, Texas to the environmental control to find out even how to treat me.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up being on a ventilator for 28 days. In that 28 days that I was out, y'all, I saw a glimpse of heaven.
Oh, wow.
People can say what they want to say and say it's in your imagination. No, it is not in my imagination. I know what I saw. And I know what God told me. He said, your time is not now. You have to go back.
Oh, wow.
But it was so peaceful. It was so beautiful. Let me tell y'all, I saw some colors. I saw some flowers. I saw some things that you can't even imagine. And then I saw this river. I mean, it was a long, long river. The water wasn't like the water here. This water was so crystal.
Oh, wow.
It was beautiful. The flowers it was colors I'd never even seen before on each side of the river, the colors. At the end of this river was this huge throne. There were 2 people. There was the Father and the Son. So you can't tell me heaven isn't real. And then there were all these people. You couldn't see faces. I saw no faces. I could hear voices. And my great-grandmother said, it's not your time yet. You got to go back. You can't go with us. You can't go. They were all going to the throne to worship. And they were singing and they were praising. And I kept trying to go. And they kept saying no. When I woke up out of the coma, I guess it was a week or two later. I was just laying back in the bed because I was still in the hospital because I had to learn how to walk all over again and everything. And my doctor told me, he said, you know, I gave you a 5% chance. That's what they had given me. They had called my family to live. He said, I almost lost you twice. And when he told me that, I thought back on what I had saw. And I was no more good. I cried for 2 days. That for me was a turning point in my life to realize that how important it is to value yourself and your relationship with God. More than anything, let God have that relationship in your life. If I had not had that relationship with him, I wouldn't have made it through. But my doctor seems to think that because my lungs were totally almost filled with fluid. He said, well, if you hadn't been in the shape you've been in, because there were 2 other people that had it, they died. And he said, your lungs are what saved you. And I said, no.
It's God.
God saved me. That's who saved me. And I realized then that I'm here for a reason. God, he loves me. When you can understand how much God loves you and that he loves you unconditionally.
You want to make me cry?
That there is nothing you can do to make God not love you. It's a beautiful thing. I still cry to this day when I do my prayer meditation in the morning. Can y'all imagine being woke up at 3:30, 3:45 for the last week or two, because I've been praying about some things and I've been seeking God on it. And if you do that and you ask God, oh, he gonna wake you up, because they said that hour between 3 and 5 a.m. is the hour that if you want to pray and get a prayer through. But I use that time and I can go get up. I go back to, usually lay back down about 5 and I get back up at 7. It's like I've been well rested. I still can carry on with my day. I'm not tired. I still go to the gym. And we talk about that self-love. That's another thing, guys. Y'all got to get in the gym. You got to take care of yourself. I'll use it like this, for example. You remember when Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane and he had to steal away? That's what I do. Now, mind you, I live at home by myself. I can go in my closet, my prayer closet. But I put my headphones on. I listen to a sermon, or I turn on my gospel music. I go in that gym an hour and 15 minutes. I'm done 3 or 4 days a week. And let me tell you, when you come out, can't nobody tell you nothing.
Okay.
But consistency is the key.
It's the key, man.
You have to be consistent with it. You can't do it for a month or 2 and think it's going to be okay. I ran track all my life, and even I ran track for the military when I was in. So I've always been a runner, but I didn't until recently really got into doing more weightlifting. My heaviest, I think, was probably about 9-10 years ago. I was at 185 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I got real chunky, but I wasn't healthy. I had high blood pressure. I didn't feel good. I didn't want to get up. I was depressed. I'm going to tell you, the gym will do it for you. When you're pouring into yourself, that's what you call pouring into yourself, because you're doing it for you and not for anybody else. I'm not on high blood pressure medicine. I'm not on diabetic medication. I eat what I want, but I eat in moderation, and I try to eat a healthy diet. Now, I'm just going to say my favorite meal is some fried catfish with some greens and macaroni and cheese. That's my weakness.
I do not like mac and cheese.
You don't? Oh, wow.
I don't know. I cannot. I cannot.
But I've just learned, you learn it, when you love yourself, you don't worry about what other people think about you. Everybody has an opinion.
For sure.
I have made some very poor choices because of my low self-esteem and not valuing myself. Just settling. I refuse to settle.
Do not put yourself on sale, baby. Do not. Do not compromise your value, your worth for anything.
Yeah. And we all want to be loved.
Yes. But what God is here, God say, here I am. We just, we look, I feel like we're looking like for love in the wrong place.
Yes, we are.
We're looking for love in the wrong place. God is here. God loves you so much. He gave you his only son for you and I.
And then,
like, what kind of love is that?
Yeah. He says, delight yourself
Oh my God.
in me, and I'll give you the desires of your heart. And he's a jealous God. So you got to put him first. And he's not going to put somebody in your life if you're going to put them first before him. You have to constantly know that you got to keep him first. That's why you want a godly man. Yes. A man that's going to also put God first. A man that's going to cover you. A lot of women don't understand. They take submission out of context. Submission is not you being a slave to a man. Submission is being a partner to that man. Submission is bringing peace and to that, and working as a unit, and allowing that man to be the head of the house. So I don't care if I make $100,000 more than he makes. He's still going to be the head of my household because I'm going to make him feel like he $1 million.
Yeah. But me personally, I don't know. Like right now, that's why I'm still single, because I cannot submit myself to someone that doesn't have God in his life. Yeah. I cannot submit. Like, who do you submit yourself to? If you don't submit yourself to God, who do you submit yourself to? Are you submit yourself to other gods?
Right.
So me personally, I cannot submit myself to somebody that is not like under the leadership of God.
That's it.
Yes, I cannot.
And that's one of your values. That's one of your standards.
And I didn't even have this desire before, but I feel like the more I delight in God,
yes,
it just gave me all this desire, because like my desire changed. Like the type of men that I want right now is not the type of men that I used to like before.
Yeah.
Like everything changing, everything. And every time I had to upgrade, I was like, let me just see.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you change once you start putting more into God. And he wants us to come to him. He wants us to bring him things, And
lady, I want to tell you something. Like, don't think like when you're single, just use this single season to get closer to God, to get close to God. Because this is where you're going to find out who you truly are in God.
Oh, yes.
This is where you're going to find out your purpose. If you don't know your purpose, if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to take everybody. Like, everybody not supposed to be in your boat. So, yes. So, lady, like, if you're single right now, I would love to encourage you to stay with God. God going to lead you. If you delight in God, it's just gonna give you like His desire. It's just gonna it's God gonna change you. God gonna change your desire, everything. And if you don't know the voice of God, are you? Yeah.
Just keep getting close.
Look, I can tell you about like, it's not like I'm single, but like there's some like men approach me and try to talk to me and everything. But every time when like a man gonna come and ask me something, oh, I want to get to know you, I want to do blah blah blah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the altar and ask God.
That's right.
Can I talk with this man first? Like, is this man is someone that you want like in my life? Is this yes? So I don't even want to waste my time. I don't have time to waste over here, because I lost so many times in the past. I did the wrong thing in the past. I chose some wrong people, and I put myself on sale because I didn't know my value. I put myself on sale because I didn't know my value. So I don't want that for your queen. I do not want that for you. So if you're single right now, I would love to encourage you to stay in God's presence, to delight in God's presence, to get to know God for real.
And with that being said, she is so right, because like I said, for the last week or so, at 3:45 every morning, God has been waking me up. I go in prayer. I go in scripture. I go in meditation. So there's some things that my niece came to me and said, Auntie, you need to start making more videos to help encourage young women.
You need to, I'm going to put like a social media.
And
you
then,
have to follow her.
Then 3 days later, a week later, Queen here posts pretty much the same thing. I said, okay, God, I hear you. But that's what happens when you go before God and you stay before him and he shows you your purpose. And it's not by chance that I'm even surprised, because when I was out there, and I'm just going to be transparent, honest, because you ladies need to hear this. When I was out there in my addiction, and I promised God, I said, if you the God who you say you are, you going to take this from me. And Psalms 51 was my scripture every day. Oh God, have mercy on me according to thy loving kindness, thy abundance of tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Then on down in Psalms 51, it says, Lord, I'll teach transgressors your ways. And when I'm over 30 years clean now, but during that time, God kept showing me that, and I had started ministering to younger women. I had started encouraging younger women. Then I got away from it. And then here it is, full circle again. I'm right back to where God started me out in the beginning. So it's not by chance. It's not even by chance that she contacted me. It was God's divine will to show me, this is what I want you to do. Between her and my niece, I'm saying, yes, Lord, I hear you. Ooh. Yeah. And I've written a book with 20 other women veterans about our trials and tribulations. I've been procrastinating on expounding my chapter in that book and writing my own book. I've started it, but God just keeps tugging at my heart to get it finished. So I am going to get it finished by the end of this year.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah.
We're just going to be here and support you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be a book that's going to be encouraging. It's going to be uplifting. It's going to talk about all the things that I went through, even as a young 19-year-old girl leaving home, going in the military, being that far from home for the first time, and hadn't been in military 2 months good, and being sexually assaulted.
Oh, wow.
And really? With nobody to tell, and you keep silent for over 20 years.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What happened?
Was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be because I trusted a man. I knew his brother from home, and wasn't supposed to be going out. They snuck me my civilian clothes and stuff. If you know anything about the military, when you first get to basic training, you're not allowed your civilian clothes. You're not allowed to even leave off base. Well, they had arranged everything for me, had my civilian clothes and everything. And the guy that I was supposed to ride with abducted me, kept me the whole weekend, and sexually assaulted me the whole weekend.
Are you serious?
And I couldn't say a word. And the strange thing, God have a way of showing your family. My sister kept saying, what's wrong? What's wrong? She said, I knew when you came home you were different.
Oh, wow.
But during that time in the military, that was in 79, you couldn't say anything.
Oh, wow.
And so I suffered in silence for over 20 years. So you can understand why I had low self-esteem.
20 years.
And ladies, what it does to you, you go to one extreme or the other. Either you think that you've got this all under control, but you're still angry. I was messing with married men. I didn't care. And I used to tell the women, you want your husband, keep him at home.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I was something else. You hear me?
That's crazy.
I didn't care. And what it really showed me is I didn't even care about me. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't seeking God. I wasn't praying. I was just doing me.
Wow.
Yeah. And having to endure that, it took a lot out of me. It took a lot of years, stole some years from my life, because then I started to self-medicate. And that's where when the drug abuse came in, is the self-medication. Most women don't use because they want to. Most women use because they're hurt. They're running from something. They're looking for something. But you got to look for it in Jesus Christ, because that's the only way you're going to find it.
Wow. You've been through a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And look what God did. Like God brought you for, wow.
He'll bring you out.
That's crazy. You're just like a living proof that God really transformed people's life.
Yeah. been going through the sexual trauma, going through, like I said, God brought me back twice. I had surgery about 4 years after the coma. And my daughter woke me up about 2:30 in the morning. She said, "Mom, let's go." The whole bed was full of blood. They had to do CPR, I think, once or twice before they even got me to the hospital. And me living out in the country, they didn't wait on the ambulance. They told the ambulance which route they were taking and to meet them en route.
Oh, wow.
And let me show you how God is, though. God already knew. When I got to the hospital, he had a combat medic doctor waiting on me at a civilian hospital that was doing her weekend training. She was trained in wound care, and because I was bleeding internally from where I had surgery. So she was familiar with that type of wounds and stuff. Rushed me right on in emergency surgery. And yeah, they lost me twice that night.
Wow.
So I can't do nothing but thank God. You know what? I love the Lord. And I just say, Lord, I thank you. That's all I can say is that my love for God exceeds anything, anybody, any man. He's real, y'all. He is real. I don't care what people say. He is real.
Wow. So, what roles does past trauma play in dating, and how can someone heal from it?
Past trauma can play either a significant role in dating, or it can be play a minimum role. It depends on the trauma. It depends on if you did the work to heal from it or not, because each trauma is different. Say, for example, sexual trauma. You may never totally heal from it, but it's manageable. But there are going to be maybe times where you may get what they call triggers, especially in dating. For me, even at my age, a trigger right now is to go on a dating app and see a guy, say, for example, with his shirt off, showing all his body and stuff. To me, that's a turn off. Another trigger may be a guy that immediately wants to just skip the whole conversation about getting to know you and want to talk about sex. That's a trigger. And triggers come and they go. You can be in a store, look at a billboard, watch a movie, especially movies. But what really, really is a big trigger is when you've been triggered, and you can't discuss really your traumas with some guys, especially if they're immature. So you have to feel them out first, because discussing your trauma with somebody can really hurt you, especially when a guy tells you to get over it. Oh, just get over it. There are a lot of women that have been raped or abused and stuff, and you're not the only one. Well, just telling a woman to get over it is automatically trigger. Because she's already trying to heal from the guilt, from the shame, and all the other underlying things.
That's
So
true.
I would say protect yourself. Don't discuss like your traumas and stuff with people that you don't know and you're not really comfortable around, because especially if you're new in the healing process, it can be very damaging.
Yeah.
And it can interfere with your relationship altogether, especially even after you've been married for some time. And it doesn't have to be just sexual trauma. Sometimes a loss of, when people lose a child, that's a trauma, and it affects the marriage. People are divorced because of that. I mean, everything is a process, just like grieving. It's a process. It may not can be healed, but it can be managed.
Okay, so what are some daily self-love routine that can improve dating experience for like a woman?
I wouldn't say it's one thing in particular, but there are several things you can do. Just like, you have your affirmations Find an affirmation to tell yourself every day. And then after, you repeat things so many times, it gets in your spirit and you begin to believe it. And then it actually becomes a part of you and it starts to show. And, you just have to find something that that you're going to be comfortable with. I would say find something that you can do for yourself every day. For example, this week I'm going to go to a singles event, or this week I'm just going to go to a outdoor market or something and just sit and maybe read a book, or I'm going to go to, find something where you're not going to be found sitting in the house.
Yeah.
No guy is going to find you sitting in the house. Now, you have to really get out and mingle, but you can even be particular about how you mingle. You don't have to go to bars and stuff. You can go to sporting events. I've been to sporting events by myself.
And I feel like sometimes you have to go to the place where you want to attract the good person, the good guy. Like you're not gonna go to, excuse me, but you're not gonna go to club and you're gonna think you're gonna attract the godly men that you want. Because the godly men, they're not in club. They like in church, they like in like an event when you can grow, you can heal, this kind of event. So I feel like if you want to put yourself out there, you need to put yourself in the right place. If you're looking for a godly man, if you're looking for a disciple, you don't have to go to a club because you're not going to find them over there. So yeah.
And if that's your focus, I would say unite with the church too, especially that has a singles ministry. That's very important, especially if you can find it.
Nowadays too, this men at church, cause I told you about the guy that I was dating. He go to church every Sunday. So discernment. Cause
and I've heard
most of the time they are at church. Sometimes
they say sometimes the worst ones are in church.
So you need discernment.
Yes, got to have that discernment.
Yeah.
But if like me, I like sports. There are a lot of single guys at sporting events.
Yeah.
So I would go, but you got to pick something that you want to do each week for yourself to make you even feel like, okay, I'm worthwhile. I can do this. I'm going to, get myself out here. Not like you're putting yourself out there on the market, but if you want to meet people, you can just meet people. It may not even work, but at least you are out there and you met somebody. Because normally within the first 5 minutes of a conversation, you can kind of tell if it's going to go somewhere or not.
Yeah. So what is one thing like a woman should do right now to start like attracting like healthier relationships?
Be true to who you are.
It doesn't really have to be only with men, but it can be like with like women, with like godly connection, like good and healthy relationships.
Just be true to who you are. Know what your boundaries are. And just stick to them and just constantly, seek God.
Which advice can you give to someone right now, like a practical advice that you can give to women right now that is really like struggling with self-love?
I would say patience, be true to yourself. It's okay to struggle, but you're going to get stuck. You're going to get discouraged. Don't stay there. Find the good qualities that you like about yourself and focus on those, because Jesus tells us we are made in His image, and He loves us no matter what. Look at yourself and look at that love that Jesus sees in you. And when somebody gives you a compliment, embrace it. It's often hard for us to receive compliments from other people that say, oh, you're beautiful, you're this and that. Get used to receiving those compliments. And the way you can get used to receiving them is start telling yourself those compliments.
Yeah.
And just be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be easy on yourself. It's a journey. It's a healing process. And you're going to get there one step at a time. But just remember, you're as beautiful as God says you are. God don't make any jump. Yeah.
So Queen, like the advice that I can give to you right now, if you didn't give like your life to God, I would love to invite you to give your life to God. Because me personally, I really when I encounter God, this is where I start loving myself. This is where I start perceive myself how God perceives me. Because I used to be so insecure about my height. Look, I'm tall, I'm 6'3". People used to bully me because of my height and everything. And I used to, I thought like rejection, shame, youth was my identity, but it wasn't, So when I encounter God, basically it's you start like exposing things about myself, and I reveal like to me like who I am in Him. So I would love for you to see yourself as God sees you. God say that you are like a masterpiece. God say you are calling. God say you are chosen. God say you are beautiful. God say you are enough. So I would love for you to embrace this thing. And like basically, if you didn't give your life to God, this is like a practical way that I can give to you. Just give your life to God and just like get to know God genuinely. This is where you're gonna find out who you truly are, and this is how you're gonna find out how to love yourself. The love of God gonna set you free. The love of God just gonna reflect on you. Because if you delight in God, it's just gonna reflect on you. His image, His character, like the way you think, the way you dress up, the way like your mindset's gonna change. And it's crazy, but this is real. So this is the advice that I can give to you today.
And Jesus tells us, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Give yourself that loving kindness, just as Christ loved the church.
Yes.
And when you give everything to Him and put it in your hands, that glow, His Spirit will just come from inside out.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
If you could ask God one thing right now, what would you ask God to do for you?
I would ask God to show me where I've fallen short in pleasing Him, and to help me to improve in that area, that He may be able to bless me abundantly.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one, actually. Wow. Can you close your eyes, please? Are you ready for the final results?
Yes, I am.
You ready? Open your eyes. Look.
Oh, yeah, I love them. They're gorgeous. I love it, yes.
Do you feel beautiful?
I do. Yeah, I like
I really enjoy, spending time with you.
Did you?
It was like a good conversation.
Yes.
Like, thank you really for your insight and your wisdom. I really appreciate you, because you didn't really have to do it,
I enjoyed it though. I'm telling you, I really like it. I love the color. I love everything.
Thank you, Queen, for watching this video. I hope you really love this video. I hope you really love this conversation. Can you please drop a comment? Can you like this video? Can you share this video? And can you tell us what do you think about this video? And can you just give us like an insight or what you think about this video? Or even if you have like a story or like maybe something that you want to share, please feel free to share in the comment. I love you so much. And also, I'm going to put the link below for you if you want to book your appointment. Like I say, I live in Dallas. So if you want to book your appointment, I'm here for you. Like, I'm here for you, Queen. I'm here to serve you. So can you please drop a comment, please? I love you so much, but you know what? God loves you more than anything. And please, Queen, it's time to love yourself.